Good morning to you and welcome to your sports bulletin in this hour. Now we speak to a man, Rob has mentioned him. He has made a habit of winning trophies. He has won it all in South Africa with 5 league titles, and his currency on the continent is sky high with 3 CAF Champions League titles to his name. It's a good morning to the one and only Coach Jingles, Pitso Musimane. Thank you so much for joining us on Morning Live.
Thanks for the invite. Thanks for having me. And it's good to see Rob Bryan's face. I've never seen the face. Now I know the face.
Thank you so much, Coach. Let's talk firstly. I want us to start our discussion with the development of football. Now, you've put in a lot of time and effort into creating a program that really will focus on youngsters and them showcasing their talent and hopefully just playing a major role in us getting these players to be exposed. Tell us more about this, Coach.
Yeah, now that I'm unemployed, I have decided to contribute to my country because everybody in South Africa is complaining about the level of football, that it has gone low and whatever, and which is true, obviously. I remember our days when we used to play for Bafana in that 95, 96, the era of us and the Lucas and the Fish. That football was at the high level, but everybody complains about South African football. But we just have to look at the neighbors, look at rugby, look at cricket, what they do. We don't have to look far. So I am trying to do exactly what rugby and cricket is doing, because we're all complaining, but we don't know what to do. You know, we have talk shows, we can talk about football, but the challenge is we don't know what to do. So I have decided to research why is Europe producing very good football players, because I've played football in Europe also, and I've been with the coaches who come from Europe, and I've realized that, but I think this thing we can also do it in my country. So that's what I'm trying to do. So I've teamed up, I've joined what MEC Panyaza is doing by making some schools of specialization, and there was one that we did of Rasina Sidibane Mudiba that is in Pretoria, that is specializes in sport. So we said, okay, we can contribute. And what do I contribute? We train the coaches, and we put the coaches in the schools, and they must teach the children the right way, because everybody's been just training children. You know, I saw with my children when they go to schools, in private schools, they train the extramural. Everybody does whatever he wants. So it's not monitored, it's not guided, it's not managed properly. So
it doesn't have an end goal in mind. Yeah,
and they don't know what they're doing. Okay, they're trying to help, you know. So and also I've got blessings from the SAFA, from the Football Federation. Dr. Dan Jordan says we should go into the schools. I've got the MEC of Sport. We should go into the schools. I'm waiting for the Department of Sports and Recreation. Hopefully, I saw that they want to be part of it. But in fact, I'm joining these departments. You know, they don't have to come to me. I'm joining them. I'm knocking on doors and humbling myself and trying to help my country. So we train the coaches with our own manuals that we have researched what Europe is doing, what FIFA is doing, and we're putting that together, and we're placing the coaches in the schools, because we think if they're in the schools, that's where you start. That's where the Siya Kolisi come from. That's where Makanyantinis come from. Just look at rugby. You don't have to look further. Just do that in public schools and even in private schools. And then we can revive this football thing.
And it's lovely that you speak about that, Coach, because for so long as a country, all we talk about is the AFCON that we won so many years ago. We do need a new generation of South African football to speak about. And we see that coming up now in terms of women's football. I mean, we've had Banyana recently winning the AFCON. Your thoughts on just the progression and development of women's football in the country?
They've done well. Women's football in the world, not in South Africa. In the world is.
Yeah, we saw the Euros as well.
Is in the world is what I love watching it. You know why I love watching it on the tactical side? Is that they're fearless. They've got nothing to lose. There's not too much money at stake like in football, or you make mistakes and this. So they play football the right way. They've been coached the proper way. Like we need to coach the youth. So women football is on a rise. I mean, look at the Mamelodi Sundowns team. They want to win the CAF Champions League. You want to tell me that Kaizer Chiefs cannot do the same? Yeah. They can do the same. Orlando Pirates can do the same. Because there's a lot of women who want to play football. And by the way, in our program in sports schools, women are priority because it's easy to talk about it after Banyana has done it. Do you know what I'm trying to say? Then you can easily convince people. But the challenge is below the league games that they're playing at the clubs, and below the federation, there is nothing.
Yes. So
we are there to do something, to say, let's have the foundation before you put the roof. Let's not have the same mistakes we did with Bafana, 95, 96. Players went overseas. We were part of those people who went overseas, and we played there. But look where we are now, because the foundation was not strong. So we need a conveyor belt.
We do need a conveyor belt because we need to stop building. We can't build forever. Something else you touch on, Coach, it's just that foundation, and you've made sure that you continue to have a solid foundation for yourself. The first person ever in South Africa to get the CAF Pro license. Talk us through that and what inspired you to want to take on that journey.
Well, I'm humbled. Thanks for that. It's just, I always like to say that we've been landing planes as pilots without licenses. So we've been winning these trophies without licenses. So at least we've got a license now. We can say, oh, you can feel safe with me on the flight. I have qualified. So, and it's the first one that Africa has ever done. And I was humbled to be invited to be part of that. And we have the license now. And somebody was saying, one of the people, influential people in football was saying, oh, but the CAF Pro license is not the same as the UEFA Pro license. He talks from a position where he does not know. I understand. What he does not understand is that our lectures are coming from FIFA and they're coming from Europe, and the same lectures who lectured the Mourinhos and the Pep Guardiola. It's the same lecture. It's just that it's been done in Africa. So, but they don't understand. So that's why we are here to clarify.
Something else I want to touch on with you, Coach, is a personal relationship of yours with Jomo Sono. You played more than 70 games for Jomo Cosmos. Tell us more about that relationship that you have with Jomo.
Yeah, well, you're touching my emotions now. He's the guy who came to me, fetched me at the schools. That's why I'm going back to the schools. I was discovered from the schools. I was never discovered from anywhere else. From the schools into professional football club. And he's the one who brought me. He says, I think this guy can do something in football, and I didn't know what he saw. And my parents says, yeah, but let him finish his grade 11, grade 12. He waited for 2 years for me to finish, and look what has happened. So I would say without him, I think my life would have been different, and I'm really humbled.
And it's so beautiful that you say that, and that it's really humbling for you. And as you talk about that humility, Coach, for you, what is it that you're still looking to achieve and do on the African continent? We know that you did so well with Al Ahly. They didn't want you to leave. We see them on social media saying, bring back Coach Pitso or Bizo.
Yeah. Look, Al Ahly is the biggest football club in the continent. Al Ahly is the biggest football club in the Middle East. It's such a huge club with support base of more than 70 million people. In fact, more than the population of South Africa. So it's such a huge club, and I had an opportunity to be there. And thanks to Mamelodi Sundowns, because I managed to showcase my contribution from Mamelodi Sundowns, because we beat Al Ahly, we beat the Zamaleks. Those are two big clubs in the continent. So we were there, and they struggled a little bit with international programs. They've been doing well domestic.
Yeah.
So we went over there, and they asked us to help them, and we have done well. We have done some things that we could have never done in South Africa. I mean, four times in the CAF Champions League. I mean, it's very difficult for a coach to have that. I'm surprised also. I'm lucky, to be honest, and to go to the World Cup, the FIFA World Cup, Club World Cup, to play against the Bayern Munich, to play against in the space of Palmeiras, Chelsea. You know, we have met all these people that we see on TV, and we have competed with them. So it has been a blessing. But also I must never forget the South African Football Association, because they also took me to school to Germany to learn this thing. So there's been a contribution from John Masono, South African Football Association, the PSL, that have sharpened my soul, because I wouldn't have gone to Al-Ahly without doing something in the PSL, you know.
Indeed.
So Mamelodi Sundowns also contributed, but also we left 12 titles for them, so they also benefited.
They did benefit indeed. And Coach, as I wrap up with you, you've managed players that have gone from earning nothing to earning a lot of money.
Yeah.
And we've spoken in the past about how we would like to see our sports stars and athletes really being able to do well financially after their careers. So as someone who plays that role in their lives, what is it that you'd like to see being done differently in terms of how players manage themselves, particularly off the field?
Yeah, look, I've been the coach for 21 years, and that's why I took a break now, and I terminated my contract with Al-Ahly to take a little bit of a break to do my legacy, because I don't want to be known as a coach who has won these things that we've been talking about, but I need to be a coach that has contributed more than titles. You know, trophies should not be my life. My life must be after football, because after football there'll be another coach who will do better than me.
Yep.
But what have you left? So the legacy that I want to do is the school sports, is to produce more players like the Pesitaus that have contributed to the Keegan Dollies. They're millionaires. The Bongani Zungus, they're millionaires. So I like my name to be associated with people, to contribute to people to change their family lives, not trophies. So I'm happy that I have done that. But the other thing also is to do my documentaries, to say what happened, where do I come? I come from a township. What happened? How can a person come from Soweto be the one who has won more trophies than anybody in the continent? So those things are so important. So I have now formed a sports company that looks after all these things, and we're doing the master class. We went to a Royal AM with Mam Chiza there to tell them where we have failed and where we have succeeded, because you must know that we have had also lessons that we have learned, that it has not been easy. I've lost six cup finals. We can talk about the 18. So what happened? Why I have lost it? Why did I lose the last CAF Champions League? So we're giving them that information to say, this is what we did, and you don't have to take everything, but you can learn a little bit of something. And then also we have the sports agency that looks after the players, because it's so sad that the players, they play so well, but they are being advised differently. And it always becomes a little bit of a problem, because now you're stepping on people's toes when you want to say to the players, this is the way to go, this is the way to go. Because I've traveled that route from the township to Europe to play for Bafana and to be the coach in the continent. So I want to share my stories with the players. I hope they will listen.
Thank you so much, Coach Pitso Msimani, for your time here this morning. And Coach does speak about how he's played such an instrumental role in developing the likes of your Keegan Dollies as well as your Percy Towers. And now he wants to plant a seed with other players in terms of that masterclass. But that's how we wrap up your sports bulletin in this hour.